Welcome, everybody.
Hello.
You're now here for the June Bolton Free Library Trustees meeting. So we will start with the disposition of the minutes from May. They were sent out a couple days ago. I don't know if anybody has had any correction or additions or anything that needs to be done with that. Okay, if I could have a motion to accept the minutes in a second.
I make a motion to accept May's minutes. I'll second.
Lynn and Sue will for that one. And all those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Okay, into the record. We'll have the treasurer's financial report. Eric?
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions first after having read the email? Okay, I'll do a brief recap of some of the treasury related items, and then I guess the rest of them I can cover when we go to the finance committee, if that's okay. Perfect. So I just want to make a mention of the noteworthy point that I had put into the treasurer's email about the success of the pickleball tournament. That's very much.
Yes.
Thank you. All of our volunteers here today, thank you very much. So our net income was $2,458.12. That's a huge, generous contribution from our community. A tremendous thing for the library. So thank you very much to everybody for that. Quite noteworthy.
So
In terms of income, just to highlight for the record here, we had the $2,500 Charles Wood Foundation grant come in during the month of May. This is going to assist in our children's birthday book giving program. So we're very happy that we could move that forward this year. And Megan, I think you have an update for that as well, don't you? We have the books and
the books have been delivered.
oh, okay, great. We don't even know.
It's amazing. The kids had so much fun. Amy went up to help me, and everything about it this year was better because in the past I've had to carry like 10 bags of books upstairs. We didn't have to this time. It was lovely. It was just the kids are so excited. And the last class was the kindergarten class, and Janelle Egloff is really on top of what happens. And so she said, all right, before we go back to the classroom, I have to discuss something with you. Now I want you to realize that this is a gift from the library. And it's not a book you have to bring back. You get to keep this forever. And she said, so what kind of book is this? She said every year she gets phone calls from parents and say, my son brought this book home and how am I supposed to return it? So she has to explain that they were gifts. So, but
is she the librarian?
She is the kindergarten.
Oh, kindergarten teacher. Okay.
And the kids were very excited to help because there was a couple of kids absent. So the teacher would say, how about you help me find what Sigurd's like? And so they were all involved in that. And Denise Jorgensen is the school librarian, and she took a number of pictures of me with the classes. And before she emails it to me, they just want to double check the records to see what kids, there's any students who can't be included in social media. And then she'll get the pictures to me and we'll get it up on the library's Facebook and the website.
What goes kindergarten to?
Well, it was supposed to be, it's supposed to be pre-K through 12.
Oh.
But the timing was bad this year, and the high school kids had already started their exams. So what Denise was going to do, they take their exams in the library. So she's going to have the books spread out in the library and let them know that they all are welcome to take a book.
Okay, better. Everybody else was presented, and then they'll pick theirs up.
Yes. So we had it through 6th grade,
but everybody gets a book.
There was like, but I'm gonna take these, so I think you're gonna not. They were very excited too, and we know you. Everybody now.
Thank you. Just to highlight another point as well, this was a preview last month of the update from TV banking program. This is thanks to everybody who got the word out. To our generous community members who participated in that program, we raised $2,989.57 in that program.
That really surprised me. That's a lot. That's for especially not doing it.
It's a
That's
wonderful
close to
program
like
for us, so that's great. Pull out on the expenses side, the treasurer's report as well for everybody's information. We did in the month of May have that $4,200 expenditure to capital purchases for the construction of the generator shed roof. This was a board approved expenditure. And then accompanying that as well was the $200 expenditure for the installation of the historical marker. So that's all I wanted to call from the treasurer's report. If there's any questions. The rest I'll say.
Very good. Then we will have that into record and go down to the progress report from the director.
No big changes. Some numbers took a big jump. The number of patrons last month that we registered was 17. I like that number. I always ask every single one. So are you moving here for good? Doesn't always happen. Wireless was used. There was this one I found interesting that somebody used 178 gigabytes, one person, and I don't know what that means, but it was an anomaly that the router picked up on. And I'm hoping that that one person didn't take away from other people trying to use the network. That's a lot.
Did it give a time when that was used?
No, I don't think so, but I'll look after I finish here. I can look and see if the time is on there. Circulation went down by 4. But I think that the number of ebooks that were checked out actually went up. We added a number of new books last month. There is even more this month. That to be very wrong. But we've had a lot of donations of really good books that are in great shape that we can add to the collection. That today I spoke with the guy who's doing a program tomorrow night, and he has helped us in the past developing our science fiction collection. And he has more than he'd like to give us. But it's very clear he doesn't want them to go in the book sale. And so what Sarah and I will have to do is to go through them. Whatever we decide not to use, we have to get back to him. The programs that are not like really well attended, it's the special ones we've had, and it's been really disappointing. Trivia night, we're getting like 8 to 12 people every time. Coffee hour is well attended. Patrice had 10, and that's all she'll do. So that was it. The holistic medicine did really well. That was amazing. What's really sad is that the woman is now moving out of the area. In fact, I said to Sarah, what happened? But she's moving to Colorado, right?
I don't know that for sure yet. I'll verify.
The preparedness one, we didn't get enough people. And it was really good. Sue and her husband were here. They give you this step-by-step things you should be doing in case of disasters, in case of evacuations. They give you a list of like how to pack if you're going to be evacuated. There were just one of the things I never even thought about is if you are evacuated, what if your family gets separated? And so one of the things they tell you is you want to make sure that everyone in your family knows to meet at a certain place. Like I never thought of that. I don't know that those things are going to happen here, but happening other places that I didn't think would happen either. So they said that they would do it again. I don't want to waste their time. So instead, and the aquatic animal life and plant life was really good that we had 4 people. So we're hoping to do better. One of the things Sarah and I talked about is having an email blast that morning, reminding people that there's a program that evening. if that helps. I mean, it goes out in the newsletter. It makes all of our events make the Chronicle. I don't know how many people actually look there, but they're always in there. And we'll try sending out a reminder the day of.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea because people will think about it when they see it in the newsletter, but they may not.
People have busy lives. And,
So and social media is always hit or miss, right? You know, what you get shown to you on Instagram or Facebook. So a blast like that, I think it's a great idea to get it forefront of people's minds again. I mean, other than that, I don't know what else you could do it except the bullhorn.
Stop traffic.
Yes, stop traffic. But I mean, we just have to try different. I mean, all we can do is try different speakers and things. We
One of
don't
the
know
things
what's.
that Sarah said she had a lot of driving to do today, so her brain was, and we do know what programs appeal the most people. Things with a local, anything about our local history. The trees programs, we never have to worry about that being filled up. So we just have to start steering it in that direction. I have spoken to Ted Caldwell, who is the town historian, and he has a program that he said he would love to do. I left a message today with Warren County Public Health because they do a program on ticks and ways to prevent to help combat the tick situation. And I thought that would be a really good program to go and waiting to hear back. If anyone has any suggestions on programs that you would like, let me know. Try to make it happen.
Okay.
The first two in the continuing education, the first two, they were on the list from last year. But I did do another one on June 12th, and it was about graphic novels. These continuing education are put together by book list, and they are about building your collection. And the one on the graphic novels is great. And not only do I get a certificate that says I did it, but they provide the list of the books that are talked about in that the webinar. And I go through that really carefully and see what you need. I think it's a great help.
I asked just for the benefit of the group, because you explained to me, I didn't know what a graphic novel was, and I didn't know who read it. And so Megan from this class was able to explain to me, and I found it very interesting. So could you share what you told me?
Graphic novels are basically
Comic book.
comic books this big. Instead of with the little thin things that I remember reading as a kid, but they are more and more popular. It started with anime in Japan, and actually those books, we still have some, they read backwards. So you start here and you read this way. A lot of the classics are now being made into graphic novels because they want to encourage kids to read them.
So is it like 12 to 18 years old?
It's not just kids, adults read them too.
Oh, really?
Can't imagine why, but they do.
One of the most amazing books one of the books that makes it sad and happy that we have it is the one by George Takei, who was Sulu on Star Trek, and it's about his time in internment camps, and that's also a graphic format, but kids are drawn to it. When Sarah and I separated those books out from the regular children's books, we couldn't keep them on the shelf. They are so popular.
They're the first ones gone now.
They were.
There were none left at school the other day.
The first year that we did it was when afterwards we realized that we have to bring in the kids one class at a time and make sure that they're taking books that are appropriate for their age. Because otherwise, even the little kindergartners are like, "Oh, I want this one, I want this one," and they want the graphic novels. So, the up and coming genre. The other genre that's now the word that's being used is romanticy. So that's what you read.
That's what I.
It's
Only-
romance.
That's only what I do.
And mystery. So if her husband is found murdered and he has now a dragon tail, we'll know who did it.
Thank you. Okay, and did you want to add anything, Sarah, in the social media report?
No, numbers are slowly ticking upward, normal summer increases and everything else is going in the right direction, so slow but steady.
Okay, great. Okay, could I, get a motion to accept the director's social media report? Amy and Joan? Great. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? So moved. Okay, there's no, executive meeting, except that, maybe this is a time to tell you, I don't know if everybody saw the email from Terry, but Terry's stepping away from the position. So I have to, work on someone to possibly take the position till the end of the year and then run. So we have a couple of ideas. And if anybody else has any ideas, friends or neighbors or anybody that have reached out and said they might be interested, let me know.
Did you remember the two women that were going to run before?
Yes, okay, that's who we're thinking. Okay.
What does that do to our board? Still at 5?
Well,
Until you
Meaning-
get somebody.
meaning, do we still have to have 6 people if we only have 12? I would think we would, right?
9. So
We
I mean,
have-
we have 9 with,
and you need
Which would be
5.
5.
right? So, I mean.
Yeah.
I think we
At
still.
8, you still have to.
Yeah. That's a good question. I hadn't even thought about that part. So, and then we'll back down to financial.
Thank you. So just continuing on with the updates, so as I had from last meeting, the IRS Form 990, which is required to be submitted by 501c3 organizations every year. We did receive approval from the IRS in writing via postal mail that our extension for tax year 2024 year was approved. And so the new due date for Form 990 is November 17th, 2025. Just to note for everybody's education, this does have to be completed by a CPA, which we do engage to complete this annually. Moving on, in terms of the treasurer transition update, we have some activities. I'll combine this with the updates for the upcoming finance activities for July. In terms of the treasurer transition, we will be transitioning the payroll administration duties away from Michelle Pollack onto the finance committee and the treasurer. So more to come on that as we work through it. And again, Megan and Sarah, thank you for your patience as we're going to work through this. And I know that we've had a few glitches with the tax sheet system. We'll figure it out. It's a good dry run for everyone. In terms of the contract signatories with TD Bank. So this was approved at the March board meeting. Linda and Amy have been very helpful in returning to the bank a few times. We've unfortunately had a few snafus with the applications. So we have been returning to sign them. So the process has been somewhat more extended than we would have liked. Michelle's been very generous with her time in taking the money to the bank to be deposited and signing checks for us. So soon we should have approval for our signatories and more to come hopefully by the next board meeting. But until that goes through, Michelle is still our signatory for the bank. And then just one other note as well, upcoming activity in July, the finance committee is going to be reviewing the insurance policies. So we will start shopping that around for quotes to ensure that the library has the best possible coverage for the most effective price for the library. And we have meetings coming up. The first one with a local insurance provider to receive some knowledge and education around the process, as well as receive a quote. So when we do start getting things in, we'll be sharing them with the board coming up. The policy renewal date is September 1st of this year. So unless there's any further questions, that was it from my end.
No other questions? I guess then we will move on. I did see that we're still working on the logging system.
Yes, so do you want me to speak to that as well?
Yes, because I wasn't sure if you're going to put back, yeah, go ahead.
Sure. So, in consultation with Megan, we started taking a look at the way we've been tracking and reporting circulation desk money. So basically, when we have somebody either purchase an item that's for fundraising from the library, or make photocopies, or send a fax, the library receives revenue from that, and it gets reported by our library staff into a circulation desk tracking log, which up until few weeks ago, the raffles and the circulation desk income activity was all being tracked on one sheet. It was just a little bit hard to maintain the level of accuracy that we're looking for, and it did require more effort than what's necessary on the library staff's part, as well as on the treasurer's part, to try and decipher what was reported. Is this adding up? Is it tallying? So, in consultation with Megan, I proposed to her, give me some feedback on how your circulation desk activities operate and what should really be reflected on these sheets. And you have the great proposal of segregating the raffle income onto another sheet, tracking that on another sheet with another bank of money, and then removing that from the circulation desk tracking logs so that we can just focus on income that's related to circulation desk activities. So we've been going back and forth. Megan has been a significant part of this iterative design process to make something that's more efficient and hopefully more accurate as well, for staff, for finance committee and treasury activities. So we're finished on the raffle tracking log.
That one's great.
Which could also be a prototype for the farmers market.
I was gonna say, yeah, that's what we need to have done by Friday.
Yep.
Exactly,
What she made will work perfectly for you.
Yep.
The only thing, you need to explain to your volunteers, Erin, in the past, some people would use hash marks in that column. She needs the money amount in the column. And I can give you a copy of it if you want to look at it, or I can give you tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we're meeting tomorrow, but
Right.
sorry.
So that can print it out tomorrow and you'll have it. You have to put, the amount of money has to go in that column.
So if it's $5 and the next one's 5, you can't put 2 hashtags, you have to write 5 down.
Yeah, we really want to try it, get as accurate as possible.
It's just, the easier we make it for Erin to add it up, so that she could just I've watched accountants and I've watched bookkeepers, so it's but if you have to stop and say, okay, they did 4 tickets at $5, that's $20, it's just gonna slow down the process.
And same for so we'll also have another tracking log, for the farmers market. We'll have items for purchase as well, like, Lynn's Creations and other items. So tomorrow at our planning meeting, we'll really be, up to be ascertained from the farmers market group, what are the items that we're selling at the farmers market, so I can make a tracking sheet for those items as well. And I can put that together very quickly, just in half an hour or so, and we can take a look at the prototype. Does it work for you? But really the goal is just, we know how it gets, right? We worked at the pickleball tournament with the raffles and the fundraising and things, and when you're engaging with the patrons or the guests and you're collecting money and you're selling things and we're talking and everybody's being cordial, but money's changing hands, it often gets a little bit tricky to make sure that we report that properly. And so, the goal with these tracking sheets that we'll develop tomorrow with the farmers market, they'll be prototyped from what's happening at the circulation desk, hopefully new and improved, just so that it makes it easier and more efficient for any one of our volunteers to track that money. Makes sense.
Okay, thank you, Erin. We're nothing new with policies and procedures, so we'll go down to the long range plan.
Why, yes. Well, we got some responses for our possibility of putting into our survey. Joan, I didn't get one from you. Did you send one?
No, I didn't. I was out of town for 2 weeks, so that kind of put me behind.
Okay, I think we you're gonna have meetings all day.
I agree.
We're supposed to meet tomorrow too, the long range planning committee, and we're gonna have to decide how we're gonna go. The feedback was, some of it was really helpful, some of it people got off on tangents, well, we ought to do this, we ought to do that. That wasn't what the survey was about, unfortunately, but they had good conversations. So that's where we stand at the moment, and we'll be meeting tomorrow.
So in that survey, what you really wanted people to find out
What they
What we
thought should be in survey.
what should be in the survey, what we should be asking.
And it can't be of short-term questions because it's a long-term program. And the only reason we're doing this is because the handbook says we have to do it, or we just aren't all excited about doing surveys, it's what we've gotta do.
So. I mean. Are we okay with what we got back? Are we gonna just move forward from there?
We're
Or are
gonna-
you gonna talk
we're gonna
about it?
talk
Okay.
tomorrow.
Because, alright, that's good.
think, you know, there's a lot of experience on this board that we haven't been privileged to because we're new, right? So if you're uncomfortable sharing it via email, come catch us after a meeting or say, hey, you know, I've been in previous year's meetings and they talked about having this in the survey. I thought that was a really good idea at the time. Maybe you guys should think about that. Just any type of knowledge you might want to share from your own experience or from your own perspective, we definitely welcome it, for sure. We would definitely welcome it.
Okay, then that brings us down to the fundraising PR farmers group. So we're having we'll just go down the line. We did decide to participate in the Bolton Live Music Festival. And do we have the tickets yet for the Church of St.
Linda didn't drop them off last night.
Okay, is everybody, I'm not sure if everybody was at the last meeting or did we hear since?
I did tell you at the last month meeting.
We did,
I'm pretty sure I did.
but let's,
So I can repeat it.
I'm not sure because I don't think that Joe was here. I was, at the last meeting, so.
The Episcopal Church does their lottery every year, and the tickets cost $100 a piece, and they raise $20,000, and half of that goes to a charity, one of the organizations in town, and half goes to. So there's $10,000 the winner gets.
Right.
And then there's $5,000 that one of the organizations in town gets, and another $5,000 that the church keeps for themselves. And every year they change. So this year they chose us.
Okay. So what we'll want to do is try to support that by helping sell tickets.
Right.
So once Megan gets them, she'll let us all know.
Yep.
So that can either buy them if we want or try to. So. Okay. Wanted to mention thank you to Amy for doing the library days. We had our last one on June 7th. Did you have anything to add about how they went and whether we should do them again or?
I liked, even if people weren't coming.
I liked it because it was fun to hang out with them.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're like.
Evander liked it too, so.
Yeah, there is one mother in his class that she works on Saturdays. I talked to her the other day. She wanted to come, so I told her I'm gonna meet her down here, and she's off. She's gonna do it. Good job with her.
Like another woman who is the director of the museum in Granville. Her son is in school with Evander. She's lovely, and she's done a lot of event type things. And she said we're more than welcome to ask her if we have any questions.
Is she one of the people that we're adding to the volunteer list?
So I mean, it was a really great contact to have. In fact, she talked about 2 pieces. About what to put on the calendar. And she's been doing this stuff for a long time, and great to meet her.
She's also active with BTO and was suggesting maybe collaborating on some kind of book challenge, reading challenges or something. Collaborating with BTO for the kids during the school year.
Which would be great. And anything you'd like to add about the community calendar and how that's going? And
No, I like it. I like smoking. Yes, but like, what's going on today? Oh, it's the right.
I know what it's called, it's not. Somebody just the other day came in and said, what else is there to do?
And you said, go on that calendar.
So I said, well, let me show you, and I pull up the calendar, and I said, it's really easy to get to, and it's color coded, so you know what's happening right here at the library, what's happening within, if you don't wanna go far, 10 minutes. People are, the guy from the Audubon Society said he came across it unexpectedly, and he was so excited. He just said, he said, are you guys doing it all on your own? Actually, it is one person doing it, so he gave you huge props.
You know, we ought to look for a grant for that.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
Well,
Your
time.
time, your time, your time. So, but, yeah, I mean, it's a wonderful thing, so thank you so much for doing that. Okay, and fundraising baskets, wall hangings and blankets, just everybody know what all we are fundraising
There is something else to do.
summer.
So it is the wagon, it's the lake wall hanging, it's the book quilt on the window, and then the knitted blankets. Which we moved it. And then according to Carla, the Fiber Arts Group are also making Christmas stockings that are gonna be raffled off. And that's already been included in the log, they just haven't brought them in yet.
Okay, great. So would we be taking those over to the farmers market and displaying them as well?
So what I have done for you, all of the signs that are with these things now, I made another copy and laminated them. Because you don't want to use those lucite stands that they blow and break and.
Oh, do we have to sign up for the farmers market? You can't do the other sign-ups.
I have.
Do you have a copy? That's what I was gonna talk about now. We covered very well.
Totally,
but,
a lot of people, are doing most of it.
Okay. So for this Friday, you have Jew and Dina. So we actually need somebody even for the afternoon, 11 to 1:30.
Oh, it's me.
Oh, wait, maybe there's some additional people
Okay, I just photocopy
that have signed in. So Megan and Barbara B doing it the afternoon, so
You work
So-
Friday.
we'll send out, I'll send out
so.
another email to friends to remind them to sign up for both the farmers market and for the book sale that's coming up. And those of us that can, please take a look at the list for both things so that we have good representation from the Harvard as well. This one's for the book sale, that one's for the farmers market.
You also have one for the children's book.
And yes, yeah, and children's book fair is here too. So, those are all the activities that we have. Anything else? We're meeting tomorrow at 11:30 for the farmers market to get everything together. And then tomorrow morning, I can go there with you. We do have a gentleman named Zil Smith who is going to, I have to give you his contact information. He's gonna help transport to and from. And then he'll just let you know if you can't make it ever, and then we can try to find someone else to help you.
That's the thing, unfortunately, I'm new at this, and Michelle has been really wonderful as far as, bring me up to par, she's gonna talk more extensively tomorrow. My partner, she is no longer, going to be really approved. So I'm a one-man show at this particular point.
What,
because
Tina?
Terry resigned, actually.
Oh, yeah, she wasn't, I haven't ever really counted on her to be able to help because she's so busy. So, but that Dina, I think, is supposed to help like on the first day.
Megan, are you gonna be there too?
So,
Not, I go in at 11.
okay, I think she's coming tomorrow.
So,
Yeah.
but as
Maybe we did it
far as
last year.
to be another
I go
person
down.
that needs somebody interested.
Let's talk after.
Here.
So you just need
Well,
to do it.
everybody here is kind of
Let's
committee.
talk
I think
after.
everybody's gonna
I'm
have to.
trying to take notes.
Everybody's gonna have to.
I think you're right.
So you're gonna have to you know, whenever you need, send out a SOS text.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have trouble, like, you know, I need help tomorrow setting up things like that. Like for the first day, you're gonna have,
A lot of hands.
yeah, a lot of hands there for the first day to set things up. And then, you know, once you think you have the comfort level, you know, we're not gonna let you go till you have the comfort level. You're like, you're gonna
Go along
be successful, but just Friday mornings and Friday afternoons. But, you know, we do appreciate that, and, yeah, and Michelle will answer any
Oh,
questions.
no,
that you
yeah,
have.
and I think she said she's gonna be there that first Friday.
Yeah, that would be great. Dina has done it several times too. So
Okay, well,
that's there, that's on there. She's a previous.
Oh, perfect.
Okay. All right, any other questions about that? So we're gonna move on to buildings and grounds. Do you wanna go down to this, Lynn?
I don't,
Not much to change.
this parking lot. The flagpole is not up. And I asked Carla about that. She has the contact. I can get you.
Very.
I don't know that we should call him again unless Carlos says.
Yeah,
yeah. I think we need to wait.
Yeah.
But at least we got it out of the way.
Right.
That was a big thing.
That
I
was
mean,
great.
it'd be nice if we could actually get the flag up and the pole up again, but it may not happen till, I mean, this is probably a really busy time of year. So we might have to.
And the same, and the reinforcing the chairs, you kind of put on the back burner. And
Right.
We used to say we were gonna wait. on
You do,
that.
if it's a indefinite amount of time that you're gonna wait, we can remove that from the agenda.
Yeah, I think so, because we,
Yes.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
But a round of applause for the next one. Did everybody look at the native garden out there?
Yeah, beautiful.
Tim and Lynn and Carla did a lot of digging, planting,
Colors are captain.
and it looks great. It really
I
does.
asked, Carla was very concerned this morning when she came in, because she has a timer set on the sprinkling system, and somebody turned it off. So she stayed and actually made sure to water all of the plants and set the timer back on, but
Was
none
it-
of you walked by and saw it on.
Was the timer turned off or the hose faucet?
She told me it was turned off.
No idea.
I don't know.
Does the hose stay on all the time so that the timer just turns?
Yeah.
It has to be. Yeah.
Do
I wonder
the
if someone from
township come by?
Town
and-
might have seen it and thought,
Well, they do.
Well, yeah, they do.
They pick up the
mow
garden.
and everything, so.
I can I can try to get in touch with George and see if maybe they did it. Or maybe he could I could suggest you kind of keep his eye out to make sure that no one's met him.
Yeah. And the George, did you get ask the guy about whether what it would cost for him to come do an estimate?
no, I was waiting to see what was approved. I thought the building and ground was gonna discuss that.
I wrote you back and I said, I don't think we should offer him anything. I think we should ask him how much he would charge, because I'd be afraid if we offered him 100 and that would be insulting, because doesn't he have to travel a long way?
He's from Granville or somewhere. I'll text him tonight.
Yeah, I did, just in other words, you know, we need the estimate. And we understand because of the distance and that we wouldn't be able to commit to it, how much would he charge
Okay.
to do it? I don't wanna say, we'll give you $100.
Right.
That's not even in the ballpark, you
Gotcha.
know what I mean?
Yep.
For him to drive from Granville and back, cause he's already come once, right?
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
So-
I'll do that tonight.
and just tell him that we're sorry, but that wasn't, if we needed more detail, right?
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah.
And
And the pagers, Carla's, she says she has to get 3 estimates or something.
yes.
She's getting estimates.
I don't think it's required, but I think it's best practice to get 3
She said-
estimates of that for sure.
And then there's a question there, should we use capital improvement?
Well, I guess probably have to talk about that in the finance committee at some time. Yes.
Typically, if we're not gonna depreciate it, like normally capital asset, we're gonna depreciate it or something. Normally, depends on how the IRS treats it, it's usually a building maintenance, that would usually be operational expenses. Well, let's talk about it in the finance committee meeting.
Okay. All right, was there anything else? The only other little things that we're working on is that, you know, that door is sticking now, so Tim is trying to fix that. He did put a new opener closer thing on the storm door, but if anybody else comes across any other maintenance things, just, you know.
The man that was here when you guys were here, he offered to help Tim if he decides he has to take the door down and shave some of the bottom off.
Oh,
So his name is Jeff Curran, and he said if Tim needs help, he's more than happy to do that.
yeah, too many jobs, it's so heavy. But. Okay, yeah, and you hate to put too much money or time into it if we do end up getting both of those
Yeah.
fixed, so. But, and the reason it's sticking is because of the heat and humidity and the swelling of everything.
The only, adults will understand if they can't get the door open right away. But what concerns me is that when it's someone little enough that their parents let them go to the bathroom by themselves, if they can't get the door open, they get really scared, and I just want to avoid that at all.
Should we go upstairs? No. You guys figuring it for,
You know what? I have those little. So we'll stick a bell in there.
Yeah.
If anybody really reads it.
Ray can merge this.
I know, I'll just get trivia. Linda Bennett, when she does the questions, she starts it off by saying, I just want everyone to know I can't whistle. So when I say, whistle, whistle, you have to start listening so that you teach the kids to say whistle. 9. But
All right, so we're gonna move off buildings and grounds and go to book sale. Mary's not here tonight, but just to let you know that we'll be putting up the tent on the Wednesday. And then I have to double check with Sue Fowl if the books are brought down on Wednesday or Thursday morning. They have been Thursday. Okay. And then Thursday night is the pre-sale. Do we need to do anything else for that pre-sale? I know in the past we've had entertainment, but I don't think Laura is able to. I mean, I could run a fire, but she's moving, so I don't think.
somebody else that
What if we ask the school band teacher? Is he still there? A student? Oh, that's right. He's moved. He's leaving. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's forgot. I say there might be a local kid or two, but yeah.
Okay. I mean, that night is where people pay $10 to preview,
Yes.
and then they can buy whatever they'd like. So that's Thursday night, and then again, we have signups there for anybody. So pass the word if you have any friends that you know that might need to come over and work at those. And we need muscle for getting the books down. So I'm going to contact. A Warren County Youth Association, see if they have some people that they can send over.
One year they said our high school kids got group some.
High school kids from
Boring, yeah.
they were from Warren.
Oh.
So I guess we're not really supposed to tell like where they're from and what they did, but they are seen as being redeemable. That's why they're allowed to be recorded. Sarah also said that her husband Tom would be free to help. She's pretty sure he's free, but her son Sean is not.
Say the last
He was the muscle.
few summers it was Sean and Tom, my son and husband, but also Jack Fow and a couple friends of Jack's.
Okay, I'll reach out to Sue to see if she thinks she has enough young people before I call.
Do you have a scouting group here, like Boy Scouts? Totally.
There is no.
They help, sometimes, or credits.
Okay, so our students, the senior class does need to do community service. And what we have tried in the past and we didn't get anything.
The school's out too,
I wondered the message got, because school's out.
The donation cutoff is July 10th. So, if you know anybody that wants to donate, getting close. So we're on then to grants. There, anything with that?
Let's see, we got for between the Charles R. Wood and the Stewart's grants, we received $3,250, and those are both earmarked for children's literacy. And the birthday books came in significantly under that because we requested more paperbacks. So we're going to have a little bit of money to play with on the children's literacy. So we'll be able to get really good craft items for the Children's Book Festival August 2nd. But it also gives us a little wiggle room whether we set it aside for the next round of birthday books. Jane had suggested that perhaps offer the attending authors for the Children's Book Festival a small travel stipend to kind of sweeten the deal and get some more authors in. I seem to be stuck at around 7 right now, which is enough to have it, but it'd be nice to have about 12. So that's a thought if we want to do that. We still are waiting to hear on the Lake Placid Foundation grant. That's where we requested money for a high resolution projector, and we've not yet heard back on the Price Chopper Golub Foundation or Silvamo resubmit. And the only other thing that's pending is the SALS grant from 2024, where we had the roof put over the generator. That's been accomplished. But before I can close that particular grant out, we need to have the ductwork done. That was the second part of that grant. It was a 2-parter. The cover.
Touch base with Carla.
I think so. Yeah, we got an extension until December 31st, 2025 to submit that grant for the SALS 2024 challenge grant. And the bulk of it is a $5,000 grant, and I think $4,200 was spent on the generator cover. So we can justify most of that with the receipts from that, but the rest of that was going to go towards the additional duct repair and cleaning we needed.
I thought that was done.
It might have been. If it did, I didn't end up with the receipts, so that's just something I want to track down just to be sure.
Okay, so I'll ask.
And then,
Carla about that.
okay, and then regarding the community garden, that was from a 2024 grant we got an extension on, but yesterday when I was in, I submitted the final report to Warren County Community Conservation, so hopefully we'll be getting the reimbursement for that. And in the final report, I reminded them that they gave us the extension and why. So hopefully that'll go smoothly and quickly.
Great. Thank you. Personnel, the only thing is it is time for mid-year eval, so I know Jane is on our committee, but not around that much, and she's gonna be here from the 1st to the 3rd, so if there's some time that you could get together, let me know.
Okay.
Sunshine Committee is saying Jane, it's actually Mary. We have to make sure and change that, I don't think I'll stay there. Is it time now to send it to Sarah?
No.
Because they have interviewed.
So it's September, like her final one. So I would wait until September.
Okay, and we can't do Barry yet, and the Northshire Books, and you get the address to Mary.
Yeah.
That, and I can text her too.
The other thing too is the thanks to Val for the wall hanging and Sheila Menzies for the.
If we do that before or when we wrap up, John
I'll
wrap.
have to ask Mary because I'm not sure, but she has it in her breakfast book. So
Okay.
I can find out, and then if we do it now, I'll.
I think we usually do it at the end because then we let them know how much we made.
Okay.
But double check with her.
Okay.
And I also have one item for the sunshine committee, but I wanted to run by as well, and then we had, John, and people went more from the full tournament and we're doing the color check. I think the other, I think the packet of records was the registration fees, but then the rest was to be a donation, so I each went to send individual a thank you card as well for their generous donation. So I can provide that information documentation.
Okay. I actually did send him a thank you for helping with the tournament. Because he also came and blew off the courts for me that morning. But I did mention that in there. So, we could do one for that. Okay. All right, so that's the end of the committee reports. Could I have a motion to accept the committee reports?
I make the motion to accept committee reports.
Let's second. It's second by Joe. Great, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed? So, all right, so unfinished business. Megan, do you want to talk about the donation in memory of Roger?
Sure. So far, we have received $1,300 in memory. Last Saturday, we had an event here, and everyone, all of his friends, plus there was many more people than I expected to be here, and it was really lovely. They were all really happy with the choices that I had made. They felt I had done a really good job putting that collection together. Out of that, there was one of the friends had given his money yet, so that's the second check we got for $300. And then a local person gave us a $100 donation. I will be sending that information to Kate so that she can send. The library itself will send a thank you note, and that's usually something that I do, not the contract thing. And then Kate will also send thank you notes for it. One of Roger's brothers has actually said that if there's ever a time that there's something that we really want for that collection and just don't know that we can really justify spending any more money, they'll make it happen for us. It's really exciting to have it here.
Where is it located?
So it's right here.
It's right there.
Yeah. Joan had this great idea of putting the books out so that people could actually see them. So we had arranged them on the two tables, and people really were excited, and they loved that I have children's books as well, because children have to know about saving the lake just as much as adults do. Connie Smith did this amazing thing at the museum. She is the treasurer for them. She had the table all set up, and food out, that was beautiful. Here at the library, first my sister spoke, and then one of Roger's friends spoke to tell everyone exactly what they were hoping to accomplish. And then I spoke a little bit, and I didn't want him, and I would probably cry a little. But just how important I felt this collection was, and what it meant to my family and myself. So it's a really beautiful event. And Katie said she heard from so many people afterwards how much they really enjoyed it and they loved what we're doing.
Great. Hey, thank you. So, training, you handed the paperwork for that, didn't you?
Yeah,
You did this.
I'm done. I'm done.
I'll fix that.
Okay, and trustee training, I've done too.
Anybody get the last half hour?
I do the surgical correct.
It says so. I'm also the trustee training, not the section.
Anybody else that has to be reflected on there? Mary Chicarelli, hasn't done either? No. All right, so we're on to the new business.
No, I've got a piece of old business.
Oh, okay.
If we want to discuss anything about the newspaper problem that, gentlemen.
Oh, thank you for remembering to bring that up.
Yeah, I looked at the Times Union. And it's $2 a day, Tuesday through Saturday. You can pick it up at Stewart's. It's $10 a week. And that comes to $520 a year, and we aren't open a couple of days. The New York Times is $7 a day, and they will mail it to you. And it will come 3 days late. And of course, there's the Post Star, but who knows what days they're really giving out news, so.
Well, as I mentioned to Megan, I don't know, has he ever come back and talked about it anymore?
Not since then, but he has talked to me many times about it in the past.
I think it's just very difficult. Nobody delivers.
Does he get it? No, he wouldn't get it. This, it would be 3 days old.
I don't think I don't think he has a subscription to it, which would be why he's always asking us. I hate to say this, but times have changed, and there are other ways to read the newspapers. And while this is something he really wants, it is really expensive, and it might be. Michelle has a way of saying to somebody, "How much would you like to be towards it?"
Well, that's what I thought. If he got it, he wanted to donate it because he feels so strongly about it.
But I think he wants to sit here.
Right. And he bring his coffee here. But I mean, I don't know when we'd see him again. Is he coming to?
He comes to the coffee hour every time.
Yeah, so we can, give him this information and say, I want you to know that we looked into it. And, we don't have any way of justifying that amount especially for days we're not open and we don't have anybody to go get it. It has to be brought here.
There has to be a nice way to
Yeah.
say that.
Right.
This is an awful lot of money to spend per person. If you were going to suggest that we actually subscribe to the online version and make that available to our patrons, to me that makes more sense because you are
No part of that.
I understand.
I think they can get it. Can you get it through Libby? I think you can get it. So we do provide it. Right?
Yes.
So,
But he is the only one
mhm.
who is.
But I'm just going to tell them we looked into it. So.
Cost prohibitive.
I think budgeted for it this year, so it would require a report of budget for newspaper expenditure. That line item for GL did not budget, so. It's something to put on the survey too.
Yes.
See if there is more interest.
Right. And that's really the way to,
That's true. That is a question.
Mhm. Right. If nobody says they want it, then we can say we. So.
I think somebody brought up too in the, I don't want to pick up emails, but somebody said, also where it's gonna end up, we're gonna have all these papers. What
It's
do you do?
recycling is an
Yeah,
issue
I
too.
mean, we're
That's
trying not
another
to-
really good point, I think.
It's a great
It
idea.
is. I found this craft
Yeah.
to do paper mache with kids, and then I put that right. I like doing paper mache with you. I just got that crap and come out.
And then the fun part is for just go dig the others. I flipped through it first. I put the files for pinata making. But I can't use daily paper.
daily
so here,
paper.
That's a lot.
So under new business, Megan already talked about her webinar. Is there any communications?
There was the letter from Roger's friend that it's a pleasure to meet you and be part of the inauguration of the RRS collection. The event was a delight, both the visit to your beautiful community library and the reception at the lovely historic collection and museum. Marinelle and I hope to get up again to see the 50s and 60s exhibit in more detail before it closes. Congratulations on such a successful launch. Here's to a great start for an enduring legacy to literature. On that subject, more happy news. Jana and John Finder just made a donation, $200 of which settles internal accounts within our founding group. And then another couple gave a $300 donation.
May I ask you a question? If that $300 donation is specifically for Rogers collection lists or just general?
Do you remember the name on the check by Killian?
No, I just received it from Michelle tonight, so I have to go through the files.
I think if it's John and Jonna Eels. You have to, if you tell me the names on it, I can tell you, if I do know which ones, where his friends are right there.
Go ahead and go.
Okay.
You want to look for it?
Thank you to you, Kate, and your staff for arranging things this weekend and for finding the perfect theme to focus the our mess. I think it's a really great event. There were some local people, which was great. So glad to use the library at depth. I like that a lot. It was special. And if you ever get a chance this summer, go see the museum display. It's very cool. The woman that we rent from was quite the fashionista, and back in the 50s and 60s. And so after she passed away, her daughter has given her some of her dresses to the museum, which is on display, and it's amazing. And then there's a big part of the back room now all advertising from the 50s and 60s for the Lake George area. So one of Katie's friends came up to her and he said, "Kate, I just got a spice. None of you are going to get this, but Sarah went. Gaslight Village. Yesterday's fun today. Bodio-do, bodio-do, bodio. Those were the radio ads for Gaslight Village. And this one friend of hers who Kate did not know he had summered up here every year from the time he was a little boy. He loved that song. So I left and had that song in my head for a week. Oh, you don't.
Hey. All right, so on to the events. Trivia night, we're still doing every other Tuesday.
We are now, as of this week, starting full time.
Oh,
We're doing it every week.
Oh, okay, now every week.
I was thinking except for one, that was the
book club.
Okay, monthly coffee hours still go. Kate and Patrice, those are the fall dates. The third thing that's done, right?
Sarah and I were really disappointed because but John Lowe's has now become a great person to partner with, and one of the things he would like said that the Land Conservancy facilitates the winter bird count, and a lot of people participate in that. But this year, they're inviting the 46ers, some hiking groups, because the east side of the lake is in our circle, this area, and they can't get anyone to really do it. So they're going to invite hikers to count. John was hoping we could use that they could use the library as a meeting place, which I think would be great. Plus, he has made these other connections. The head of the Ruffled Grouse Association for the entire state of New York and
The region,
the
northeast, I
the
think.
whole Northeast lives in Chestertown. And John was going to ask him if he would do a program. And there was and he's also put together the one that's going to be, that goes for partnering with Patrice's program.
Okay.
So he just is it's a great partnership.
So tomorrow night is the night sky, although we probably won't be able to see the stars because of clouds, he said. So what's that?
He and I already did, he's gonna do the inside thing tomorrow.
So are you guys gonna try to send out
Before we leave tonight.
send out an email to the group just so that, and then we hopefully get some people here.
What Jeff is gonna do is he actually said fall is better for night sky viewing. So he is hoping he'll keep his eye out to watch when a good night will be there, and then that's when we'll do it.
Okay, so we have the reflection, Frank, Leon Bruno with Ginger Henry on July 17th. Children's Book Fest, which will be held on August 2nd, and Winter Birds on October 16th. Those are the additional programs.
not cancel altogether.
No, he is gonna talk.
We have a new Meet the Authors event.
Oh, we did. 6:30. Oh, we do have a Meet the Author, a man locally has written a book called Vietnam Stories I Never Shared. And it's just recently published, and so he's gonna be doing one.
July 10th,
Say it again?
July 10th.
July 10th.
Okay, town board meeting. Well, our next meeting is July 23rd, okay, to get that in right before we start. The whole sale, right? And, the town board meetings, we have Erin going to September 2nd, and that's all we have, we'll take Terry off of November 5th. If there's
I put down October 7th, but I guess.
October 7th.
I had put my name down.
Okay. Oh. Right, and I don't think we have to get to everyone, but it's nice if we go every once in a while. So I think that would be fine.
Did you see the outcome of the election yesterday?
I did not.
Jennifer wanted and lost.
He did.
What? Fully insured.
But only Republicans could vote.
Well, in this town, that's everybody.
But everybody, but that's just for the primaries, right?
Yeah.
That's just for the primary.
Yeah.
Yes. Can he then go to the other party and run in November?
Who do you think we are?
Well, how many of them are going?
It's growing.
Okay. But I didn't mean that, that's the way it sounded. I just meant that it's more likely that if you're a Republican this time,
We'll see. See how that goes.
When the town clerk,
you're Erin,
she's lovely.
yes, she is.
Andrew Copo lost his bid for mayor before. Okay, before we go into that, let's end the meeting. So could I get a motion to adjourn the meeting? It's now.
Oh, yes, something I wanted to bring up only because I think in the past we moved the book sale. The meeting that's just before the book sale to the previous, like a Tuesday night or the previous week. Because Michelle wasn't able to attend the meetings and Mary, they're setting up.
Okay, and so instead of the 23rd, that would be
Either do it on the Tuesday
well, we could just
or the
previous Wednesday, or would be, so our choices would be July 16th.
You're talking for the board meeting?
Yes, instead of the 23rd.
Yeah, that would be chaos. On the 23rd.
That would be what?
chaos.
Because they're going.
Because we're gonna be out here. All right, does anybody have, I mean, it is gonna be critical because we're down one. Does everybody know that they're gonna be around on the 16th of July? Won't be. You won't be either? Okay.
I could do the 22nd.
How about,
I choose the.
what about trivia?
Well, you know what, that's not gonna work.
We'll cancel trivia that night.
We can actually.
How about if we did it on a Monday? Could we do it on a Monday?
You can. Are you free then?
The 21st.
Erin, were you free on the 20th?
I'm free that week, yeah, I plan to be in town, folks know,
Yeah.
so I'll be, I could do it 21st.
That's actually, the library closes at 6.
Okay. So should we do it right at 6? A little bit earlier?
Before 6 or 6.
Right at 6. And that's good to have a meeting right before the book sale anyway, just to make sure we have all our ducks in a row for that. Steve, I thought about the fact that either of you two probably could report. Is there anything, is everything going on? Well, I mean, is everything going well upstairs? Yeah.
I think so.
Because I know a lot of stuff came in, it was kind of like just dumped.
I said, yeah, I guess it was him.
Right.
That up there.
There was like all these
I just looked in the back.
bags. Are they, well, let's,
What's in it?
motion to adjourn the meeting. Is there?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Certainly, and so says all in favor, say aye. Opposed?
No, yeah.
Hey, Megan. Yeah, never mind, I got it. I'm trying to see.
Are they, were they really
Stop
jerk? They felt that.
Yeah, I have a